Thank you, Mr. Brees. All right, we're on page 16. Everybody on 16? Okay, we're going to do something kind of strange here. We're going to go kind of backwards. We already did the first piece of chapter 1. We picked some random sections out. And then we went and jumped to chapter 2. Now we're going to go back to the second part of chapter 1. Okay? This whole chunk is on exponents or powers. So a product of repeated factors can be expressed as a power. That's using an exponent and a base. So instead of writing 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, because these are all the same, we count 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So we have 2 raised to the 4th power. Something that's super important to Miss Hoff is that you read your answer correctly out loud when I ask you for an answer. I will not let you say, oh, that's a 3 with a little 4. I will make you fix it to say it appropriately. So we would say 3 to the 1st power, 3 to the 2nd power, 3 to the 3rd. Sometimes they say cubed, 3 to the 4th power. Or you could say 6 to the 8th power, b to the 3rd power. Okay, so your little number is your power or your exponent. Now, some of us, we got to be really cautious with our handwriting. That number needs to be smaller, right? And up above it a little bit. So we got to be really cautious of that. So it says rewrite each expression using exponents. So if we look here, how many negative 2's are multiplied right here? 3 of them. So they wrote negative 2 to the 3rd power. And then they counted how many 3's do we have? 4. So we have 3 to the 4th power. We need to write ourselves a note over here. Put a star. There's a special note. Negative numbers and fractions must use parentheses. Negative numbers and fractions must use parentheses. As an example right here, negative 2 has to be in parentheses. If you don't put it in parentheses, it will be wrong. Okay? If that base or the number that's repeated is negative or a fraction, we have to use parentheses. Example number 2. How many A's are there? 2. So we wrote A to the 2nd power. How many B's are there? 3. So you have B to the 3rd power. Okay, so let's go to the bottom. We're going to practice A, B, and C. I'm going to do A with you, and then you're going to do B and C on your own. How many 1/2s are multiplied right there on A? 4. Now, 1/2 is a fraction. Fractions must have parentheses. So we are going to rewrite this as 1/2 in parentheses. And then how many did you tell me there were? 4. So you put the 4th power, a little 4 up and to the right. Okay? You guys do B and C. Write down the base and tell me how many there are. What number is multiplied more than once? And tell me how many there are. Look at example 1 and 2 if you need clarification. Is that right? I just want you to try. Now pay attention. You only need parentheses if it's a negative number or if it's a fraction. I want you to rewrite this one just like they did this. See how they took this and they counted how many of each they have? So you count how many of each you have.
4. No, 3.
Okay, so then write that down. Is that the number that they multiplied together?
4.
Okay, Okay, so we looked up here. They had negative 2's multiplied together, so they wrote that, and it was multiplied 3 times. So what number do you have multiplied?
4,
And how many times is it multiplied?
3,
3 times. Okay, shh, guys, don't talk. Don't talk.
5,
Okay, so then let's write that one down, just like they did. Then you put a dot. Now, how many times is that number multiplied?
2.
Okay, but look, is that the number that's multiplied?
No.
Okay, who can raise their hand and tell me your answer to B? Courtney. 4 to the third power times 5 to the second. Agree or disagree? Agree. Nicely done. I would agree with that. 4, 4, 4, there's 3 of them. That's how she got the third power. 5 and 5, there's 2 of those. Who can give me the answer to C? Marilyn. Agree or disagree? M to the third times N to the second. Agree. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. What is repeated? All you're doing is counting. 1, 2, 3 M's. So I have M to the third power. 1, 2 N's, N to the second power. Okay. Now, sometimes they're going to use the word evaluate. Evaluate means we want to actually calculate what the value is. We don't want exponents anymore. So they have negative 2/3 to the fourth power. What that means is negative 2/3, negative 2/3, negative 2/3, negative 2/3, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to write this stuff out this many times. Agreed? Okay, so when you have a fraction with that exponent, what you do is that exponent has to go with the top number and the bottom number. Now, Ms. Hoff is going to steal the negative here in a minute. I'm going to steal it with the 2. So negative 2 is going to get the fourth power, and 3 is going to get the fourth power. Everybody see what I just did there? That fourth power on the outside has to go to the top number and the bottom number. All of you that are sitting there with nothing in your hands, you should be writing this down. Sit up, be focused, listening, active learners. It's going to be hard if your brain's not working. I put the negative sign up with the 2, and it gets the fourth power. The 3 also gets the fourth power. Now, grab your calculators. Okay? Type this in exactly how you see it. Put negative 2 in parentheses. Put negative 2 in parentheses. Then you're looking for this key right here. Ms. Hoff calls it the caret key. It should be to the left and just up above number 7. So negative 2 in parentheses. Then you type the caret key 4 and press equals. Or is this button right here? Then do the fourth power and hit equals.
Equals 16.
Then you didn't type it in correctly. Don't use a negative sign or minus sign. Use the negative 2.
Here. So,
What number should you get? 16. Now make sure you put it in parentheses. Do you know how to do it on yours? Oh, you're good. This button right here. Okay, so if you type in, put in parentheses, negative 2. So parenthesis, and then negative 2. Oops, sorry, put a negative in there. And close your parenthesis. Then hit that button, and then type 4, and then equals. There you go. Okay, you should get 16. Oh yes, your calculator's a little different. Okay, now the bottom number is easier because it's not negative. So this time we're just going to type a 3 with the caret key, 4, equals 3 caret key 4 equals 81. It should say 81. Okay. Then it gives us our fraction of 16 over 81. This is practice of how you're going to do your homework. Everybody right now, type D into your calculator. 4 raised to the 4th power. This one right here. Don't say it out loud. Just type it into your calculator. It is not 16. Type it into your calculator. It is not 4 times 4. It is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Practice typing into your calculator, because when it comes to your homework and your test, we cannot tell you how to type it in. 4 caret key 4. Bryce, what'd you get? 256. Anybody else get 256?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Try the next one with your parentheses, because this is negative. Type your parentheses in. Well, I didn't ask you to say it out loud, though, did I? Tone. Type your caret key. Don't put a fraction in there. Don't put a fraction in there. Don't work ahead of me here. Liana, negative 2 to the 6th. What'd you get? 64? Okay. All right, here's a fraction one. Here's what we have to be really careful with. That exponent outside, do not type a fraction in your calculator. That exponent on the outside needs to go to both your numbers. The 1 needs to have the cubed, or the 3rd power, and the 5 needs to have the 3rd power. So you're going to type these into your calculator separately. 1 raised to the 3rd, 1 with the up arrow 3, and 5 with the up arrow 3, and we're going to leave it written as a fraction. One to the 3rd power is 1. 5 to the 3rd power is 125. So your answer is 1 and 125th. I want you to flip the page to the guided practice. And right now, I want you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now as practice. On page 18, silently, silently, silently. Page 18, 1 through 6. 1, 2, and 3, rewrite them using exponents. 4, hey, nobody should have a calculator in their hand for the first 3 problems. Write each expression using exponents. Don't need a calculator. 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, and 6, you can use a calculator. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, and 3. I'll scroll back. This is exactly what you're doing. Rewrite it using exponents on 1, 2, and 3. Then 4, 5, and 6, use your calculator to evaluate. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on.
Next thing.
What's your base that's used over and over? Okay. How many times did they use it? 3. What do you have to remember when you have a negative number base? Parentheses, yep. All right, now use your calculator and calculate those. 4, 5, and 6, you're going to use your calculator. 4, 5, and 6, you're going to use your calculator. Okay?
I think I'm done with showing you.
Number 4 and 5, you probably don't have work to show me, but 6, you should have a little bit of work to show me. Most of you did. Some of you did not. This is exactly, oops, sorry, I mean, poke you. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, let's go over our answer here. Addie, number 1, what'd you write for number 1? To the power of 3. Crucial, if you don't have parentheses, it's wrong. Why? It's a negative number. You have to have parentheses. Good job. Zayden, 2, what'd you write?
2 to the power of 3 and 3 to the power.
Very good. 2 to the 3rd power and 3 to the 3rd power. Petro, 3. To the 5th power. Very good. R to the 5th power and S to the 3rd power. Good job. Number 4, Miss Youngkong, what'd you get for 2 raised to the 6th? 64. Anybody else get 64? Yes, nicely done. Miss Marilyn, number 5, negative 4 to the 4th power. 256. Sarah, 1/7 to the 3rd power. Very good. Miss Hoff said there was supposed to be some work here. What Miss Hoff wants to see is for you to go 1 to the 3rd power and 7 to the 3rd power to show me that's how you got 1/343. Not a ton of work to show, agreed, but just so that I know what you typed into your calculator. Okay? Now, we're going to stay on this page here, and we're going to go down to number 8. Evaluate each expression if x equals 2 and y equals 10. And they say x squared plus y to the 4th. The first thing we have to do is we have to replace these letters with numbers. What do they want x to be replaced with? 2. So I'm going to put in parentheses a 2, but then I can't forget my exponent of 2 on the outside. It was x squared, but we're replacing x with a 2. What are we going to replace y with? 10. And what power does it need? 4th power. Okay. Does anybody remember PEMDAS? P stands for parentheses. E, exponents. M, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Okay. This is crucial on this problem. We have to go through this. P stands for parentheses. We have parentheses. Is there anything inside my parentheses that I can do? No, it's just a number. E stands for exponents. Do we have any exponents?
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody right now, make 2 separate calculations. Don't say the answer out loud. Take 2 to the 2nd and put it here. And take 10 to the 4th and put it here. We just want to calculate our exponents. Don't add anything yet. Don't add anything yet. Take 2 to the 2nd power and 10 to the 4th. Careful, put a plus sign in between there, not a multiply. Make sure you put a plus sign in between these. Make sure it's a plus sign in between them. Brody, 2 squared, what'd you get? 4? Caitlin, 10 to the 4th power. Okay, do it for me right now on your calculator. 10 raised to the 4th power. 10, and then you have a YX button. Say it again. It should be 10,000, right? 4 zeros? 4 zeros? Okay. Now, last but not least, we need to add those together. 4 plus 10,000 is 10,004. 1 0 0 0 4. Now look at number 9. Number 9 looks a little different. What number are we still putting in for x? 2. And what number are we putting in for y? 10. So I have a parenthesis, 2 for x and 10 for y. Now pay attention to where you put your parentheses and your exponents and your bases. Now, PEMDAS, P stands for parentheses. All of this is in parentheses. But what should I do first? Jack?
The parentheses. No, the exponent.
The exponents. Okay? What is 2 squared? 4 plus 10, close it, and we have a cubed on the outside. So first we have parentheses, and we looked inside the parentheses, and Jack said inside those parentheses we need to take care of exponents. Now, we're not done with our parentheses yet. We're going to stay in there. What's the only thing we have left to do inside our parentheses? No, inside the parentheses, we need to add. 4 plus 10 is 14. Then we're down to just a number raised to a power. Don't shout the answer. Everyone on your calculator, put 14 raised to the 3rd power. You have to know how to put this in your calculator. Don't spend your time going 14 times 14 times 14. Use the exponent key. You have a better chance of making a mistake the more you have to type in. You should be typing in 14 caret key 3. Bryce, what'd you get? 2,744? 2744. Okay. I heard you the first time, and why did I say that you shouldn't do it that way? No, why did I say I wouldn't encourage you to do it that way? You have to type in way more numbers. If that's how you did it, that's fine, but we don't have to say that numerous times. Okay? Today's key is reading the directions. You cannot raise your hand and say, what am I supposed to do on these? Most likely your directions are going to be write each expression using exponents and evaluate each expression. You only use your calculator when it has the word evaluate.
Evaluate.
Okay. Flip to page 19.
That's our homework.
Circle the following problems. Listen closely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody got those? Okay, go down and circle 9 and 10. 9 and 10. Then turn to page 21. 19, 20, 21. 19, 20, 21, and 25. Okay. Now, I understand it's Tuesday, and it's the first day we've been back in school, but we have to focus ourselves here. No talking. Mr. Brees and I will be around to help you. If you need help, please raise your hand. This needs to be done for tomorrow. Use the rest of your hour.